So this is a presentation over my Camera Obscura project. It's using a car as a camera, so it's going to be Carmera Obscura. My name is Caleb Perkins, and I'm going to kind of show you a couple little example images as well as the kind of the process to do this kind of thing. First though, let's start with what a Camera Obscura is. Basically, it's a box with a hole in it that projects light through it to show you an image. So essentially, that was kind of the first thing that sparked people into building cameras, or it was the idea behind a camera. Originally, it was used for drawing or painting or stuff like that, to kind of get an idea of something in a more static way. But as time progressed and we were able to capture images, we, swapped to how we used it. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of the idea of it. And there's a little image to show you what it looked like, or like the general idea of it, the concept. The image is going to be flipped and mirrored, so because it's projected, it's weird, but there you go. So let me go to the next one. So if you want to do that with your car, you have to cover the entire thing so that light does not get inside of it except for through a tiny little hole, which is a lot of trash bags and some tape. Um, what you can do to make the pinhole, because essentially you're just making it a pinhole camera, is take a little piece of paper or even just use the trash bag and cut a relatively nice circle into it. I used a dime in mine to project the light. The smaller the hole, the less light comes through, but the more sharp it should be and the less depth of field you'll have, which might be a big issue if you have relatively close subjects or far subjects, just depending on, how large the interior of your car or room are. Yeah, so I just used scotch tape to hold up all the trash bags, and it was just the regular, 55-gallon trash bags. Um, those held out the light pretty well. There was a little bit of light leak, but that's manageable. Once you get in there inside the interior of the car, you can kind of work with it. Um, Essentially, you just want to make sure that there is no light except for that one little hole you have. Some people use washers to do it. I didn't this time, but I have before. So let's go to the next one. So it kind of looks like this. You get projections from the outside. In my photo here, I've got, some of the pine trees that my car was looking at. So it's kind of interesting, and you can do this with all sorts of things. You don't have to just do it with a car. You could do it with a room if you have a window, and then you just kind of block out all the light coming into the room except for through that window. You do the same kind of thing. Essentially, you're just making a pinhole camera, and then the light will project inside. Then you can take photos of it. I used a digital camera, but you could use film, you could use whatever. Um, yeah, so the projection is flipped and mirrored, so that's kind of cool. Um, it gives you definitely a different view of what the outside world looks like. If you're gonna do this with your own stuff, remember that it's gonna be long exposures because there's still you're letting a very small amount of light in through that little pinhole. So you've got to do long exposures or really high ISO in some cases, just depending on what you need to get out of it. Here's some more examples. You can see the projections on the inside, and it's just really dark, But it's kind of an interesting little project. Didn't take all that long to set the car up like that. It does, it makes it so you can't drive anywhere once you do it, but it's fun. So I would recommend this for anybody who's looking for something a little different to do, and it gives you the option to do a camera obscura, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it where they're in rooms. But this one is different because you can move the room. Most people don't have a mobile room they can just carry somewhere and then set it up for projection. But yeah, this gives you that option, kind of things to look at. You can also experiment with multiple pinholes, so you can get different projections into the car, and then you can photograph them in different interesting ways. It gets kind of abstract once you add more, and there is a limit to how many you can do, obviously. Like if you have too many holes, it's just going to become a muddled mess. But yeah, so that's the presentation. That's for my honors project. Thank you.